it's Spencer from the Pros Closet. Today I am going to go on an adventure. I'm going to ride 87 miles. I'm going to climb 8,700 feet, but I'm going to do it on this 1987 bike that's been in my garage for years and years. The idea here is I want to revisit some roads around the area that I know really well, and I want to reimagine them and have a different experience on them, do something fun, because like all of you guys, during the pandemic, I've been doing my best to stay close to home, do familiar rides, and this is my way of trying to freshen things up and enjoy this old bike that I've kind of used and neglected as my townie for a few years, and I realized it's actually a pretty cool bike. It's a Japanese steel Centurion. Like I said, it's 33 years old. It's got this Shimano drivetrain 600 with the BioPace chainrings. More on that later. But the idea here is a fun challenge, keeping close to home, and something that will hopefully entertain you guys, because I know not everyone is able to ride outdoors right now. It's a huge privilege to be able to do that, and so I take that very seriously. I packed everything I need. I packed a lot of water, packed a lot of food, and there's going to be a water stop along the way that I can use, and I won't have to worry about interacting with anybody along the way. So with that in mind, I'm going to hop on this old bike and I'll take you on a little ride. Let's go. Okay, so it wasn't super easy to come up with a route that's 87 miles and 8,700 feet of climbing exactly. I did. Fortunately, Boulder has a lot of roads, so we got a few key climbs. We're going up Left-Hand Canyon, and we're coming down into Lyons, and then we are going to go up Lee Hill, and then finish on top of Flagstaff Mountain, which should be brutal. Okay, I'm heading up the first climb of the day, Left-Hand Canyon. Man, this is so nice on this old bike. It's a gradual gradient. The pavement's really smooth. I'm gonna really enjoy this part of the ride. Not a problem on a solo ride. Okay, I've got a confession to make. This isn't exactly a historical reenactment of a 1980s bike ride. I do have a few modern touches on this bike, which are pretty important to keep me comfortable and keep me rolling along. I've got Specialized turbo cotton tires on, which really are the best clincher tires that I've ever ridden, and it's sort of like singing in the shower, where riding a great pair of tires like that just makes it seem so much faster and better, and you don't realize how slow you really are when you're on good tires. I've also got modern clipless pedals, which for understandable reasons helps me get through a ride this long without destroying my knees. So let's keep riding. So you know, one of the things I love about this bike is right here, no Garmin, no rules. It's so nice to look down at a handlebar and not see a screen. Finally, run into someone with a ride that's older than mine. Okay, I've made it to the top of Left-Hand Canyon above Ward here at the Peak to Peak Highway. Man, talk about riding a familiar climb and feeling very, very different on this old bike. It pulled just a classic rope-a-dope where I went nice and hard all the way up through the mellow section and was completely smashed when I got to the steep part at the end. But made it to the top. Hopefully the cool temperatures and cloudy skies will help me out a little bit. All right, let's keep going. All right, a little past the halfway mark, 54 miles in here in Lyons, Colorado. I got down the descent off Peak to Peak Highway in one piece. It was very windy, a little sketchy. That's why I don't have a ton of video for you, so sorry about that. The brakes on this bike are a little bit sketchy. It takes a little more force to pull them. They don't feel as powerful, so I was doing my best to be careful on that descent. However, the steel frame feels really nice on some of those corners. Let's check out one other interesting feature on this bike of mine, and that's the BioPace chain rings. These things are oval shaped. According to Shimano, the oval shape was to improve your leg speed as you're on the downstroke, the power stroke of your pedal. And then the oval was at its largest point at the top and bottom, which was supposed to help the foot through the pedal stroke. I'm not really sure how that all works. I'm probably not doing a great job of explaining it, but I did read the Sheldon Brown article on it last night, and it's quite interesting. Oval chainrings, they kind of come and go in popularity. I don't think it affects the ride too much of this bike, but it is a little weird to think about sometimes when I look down and see those chainrings wobbling around. All right, well, I gotta get going. We'll catch up with you soon. Whew, okay, I'm nearly done with this brutal headwind section. I gotta say, this does bring to mind the fact that, in my opinion, modern technology hasn't really done anything to improve bikes in the wind. You do have aero bikes, you do have deep dish rims, they help a little bit, but at the end of the day, when you're pushing into these winds or at the crosswinds, I don't think a bike from the 80s is really all that much worse in the wind. So I got that going for me, which is nice. All right, we're almost done. 2 climbs to go, getting close. Hey, buddy. Oh dear. All right, I'm here at the bottom of Old Stage, second to last climb of the day, and this is where I fear I'm going to see the limitations of this Centurion on the short, steep climb. The gearing, the easiest gearing I have is a 42 in the front and a 24 in the back, which is basically like being halfway down the cassette on a modern road bike in the Little Ring. Plus, the weight of this bike, even without all this gear, is probably about 20 pounds, so it's gonna be a bit tough, but gotta keep moving. I'm almost there. Yes, that's the top of Old Stage. Okay, here we go. Last climb of the day up Flagstaff. I think about 6 miles to the top. We'll see. This is the wall, the hardest part on Flagstaff, but very close to the top. Just look at my cadence. Brutal. I made it. Oh. Well, there you have it. This was a really fun, close to home adventure, but it was not easy. I have mad respect for anybody who grew up in the 80s and 90s riding these bikes. The brakes, when it's time to stop, they're about as responsive as a French waiter who's heading off on a cigarette break. At the shifting, it requires a level of planning and contemplation you'd usually devote to a sophomore year philosophy paper. And of course, like I said, the gearing is so hard, you have to be strong like Lou Ferrigno to really turn over the cranks with this bike. That said, it's fun to ride once in a while, and I'm glad I have it in my garage, because really, as far as I'm concerned, the only problem with a bike in a garage is that it's just not getting ridden. So if you need a bike for your garage, you should head to theproscloset.com, because we've got hundreds of certified pre-owned bikes in stock, and they aren't old 80s road bikes like this, don't worry. So check that out. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.